Good morning and welcome to another week with me. This week I'm going to do a realistic what I read in a week / mood read with me. I just would find it really interesting to see how much I read because I genuinely fluctuate. For a period there I was in a bit of a reading slump. A few times this year actually I've been in a bit of a reading slump where I just don't really want to read. And then other times I'll finish a book in like a day or two. So we're going to do a realistic what I read in a week, also a mood read with me, because I'm currently reading Heir of Fire. I think I'm about 180 pages in. I'm actually really enjoying this now. I was a bit unsure for a period there, but I want to read a book alongside this. So I'm going to read alongside that. I'm also going to be reading The Locked Door by Freida McFadden. Now I got this bought for me the other day, and I mainly picked this because I love how easy Freida McFadden books are to read, and I generally read them in like 1 or 2 days. And this is under 300 pages, so I want to read it alongside this. Probably this will be more of a daytime kind of book, and this will be more nighttime because this is obviously a lot more to follow, I would suspect, with all the fantasy and everything. So I'm going to be reading this alongside it. But this morning I read from page 137, which was chapter 18, to page 177. So now up to chapter 23. So I read a good chunk this morning. I think I read like 40 pages. I'm really bad at it. I got a good chunk of that read. So I think I'll probably maybe read to page 200 of this today. And then I'm going to start this one, and who knows, maybe I'll finish it today, probably finish it tomorrow. But that's the plan for today and this week. So I hope you enjoy my video, and I'll pick my camera up next time I'm reading. I didn't end up reading any more of Heir of Fire, so I read about 40 pages of this, and then I started The Locked Door by Freida McFadden, which is just basically a woman called Nora, who her father is a serial killer, and it's just her like later in life trying not to become him basically. And of that I read 95 pages. But I'm going to continue reading more of this, so all up it will be about 150 to 160 pages, so that's a very good start to my weekend today. Done my reading for the day. I don't think I'll be doing any more. Now I have a very good reading day. This morning I started off with Heir of Fire, and I read 22 pages of this, so not a lot, but a little, because I wanted to finish this, and I read 174 pages of this, I believe. 172 pages of this which means I read 194 pages today. It's a very good reading day for me, I'd say. And I finished this now. I've read the whole Housemaid series and 3 other of her books. So I've read 6 of her books so far. This is my 7th. And it's definitely my least favourite, I would say. But by no means was it bad. I'm going to rate it a 3.5. But I don't know, there's just something missing. And I feel like in all of her books, I've actually been pretty good at guessing, like, who the criminal is going to be and who's orchestrating, like, all the murders and things like that. And I've been able to guess them easily. But in this book, I like guess, like, literally every single person for every single thing along the way. And I usually don't mind, but I think I just so smart, I guess. Too many. It annoyed me. But nonetheless, read this in 2 days. So easy to read. Freida McFadden does great thriller books, so I really did enjoy it. But I think tomorrow I'm just going to get stuck into this one again and hopefully get a good chunk of this done. Actually, which was very bad of me, and I apologize for leaving you guys hanging, but I haven't really, ever since I finished The Locked Door by Freida McFadden, I've barely read, to be completely honest, and I don't like that at all. I'm about halfway through Heir of Fire, so in the past 2 days, literally, I've probably read like 80 pages. Like, I've barely read anything. I think Wednesday I read about 30, yesterday I read about 40, so around 80-ish pages I've read. Just been doing other things I haven't really been reading, but today I want to get a whole lot of reading done because it's kind of like gloomy weather. It's not the best weather, it's quite cold. So along with this, I will be reading this, but really want to read another book at the same time. So here's my thing. I'm going to start You Like It Dark by Stephen King. Now this is a bit of a chunkier book too, and it's meant to be like horror stories and scary stuff like that. Like, obviously it's Stephen King, but I feel like I'm not going to be able to read a lot of this and read a lot of this. Like, I feel like I don't know, I feel like I'll only be able to read like a chapter or 2 of this at a time, and they're long chapters because it's not really in chapters, it's like short stories. So the first short story is page 1 to 59, and I'm not entirely sure it's got like chapters along the way. And also because it's like short stories, I'm not sure how interested I'll be in each of them. So I think what I'm going to do, as well as reading Heir of Fire and You Like It Darker, hear me out here, hear me out, it is a mood reading book. I'm also going to start The Final Gambit. Now, on my TBR for the month, I had to read Heir of Fire reading, The Teacher, which I read, If He Had Been With Me, which I read, Harry Potter, Things You Never Go Over, and You Like It Darker, which I'm going to start. So really, I only wouldn't have read 2, and one of them's Harry Potter, which I just know I wouldn't be able to finish. And the other one's Things You Never Got Over, which I'm really not wanting to read, like a romance kind of like that. So, because it's a mood reading, I'm going to be reading these 2 along with this. Now, call me insane, but my thought process here is I feel like I'll be able to finish this relatively quickly because for the track record, for the Inheritance Games and the Hawthorne Legacy, I both finished them in 1 to 3 days. Now, I also want to finish 6 books by the end of the month, and it's currently the 21st, so what, I have 10 days to read 2 more books, which I'm almost positive I'll be able to do, because I'm halfway through this, so I'll finish this eventually, probably next 4 days-ish. This one probably will take me a bit longer, so I'm thinking if I finish that to get my 6 books of, just got a paper cup, that fucking hurt, but if I finish that, I'll also finish this one. Now this is only 368 pages, so I'm hoping it's as good as the other 2, because if it is, then I'll definitely be able to finish it in 1 or 2 days. And if I get a lot of reading done today, who knows, probably won't get it done today, but probably tomorrow. So that's my plan. I haven't read anything today, but what I'm finding difficult with this book is, sorry, I'm doing multitasking. What I'm finding difficult with this book is that there's like 3 different POVs kind of. There's one with Chaol, there's one at the where is it, like the kingdom where the king is he a king? I think he is, where Chaol is, and Dorian. So there's like chapters from those 2, and Aiden or Aedion or however the fuck you say, I don't know. There's chapters from him, and then there's chapters from Marion, which is the witch. So there's chapters from the witches, and there's chapters from Selena, and she's currently trying to like get her powers and everything and learn how to use them. So I'm like at a crossroads where I quite enjoy the witch chapters and the chapters with Chaol and Dorian, but the ones with Selena, I'm just getting like kind of like, because I feel like they're slightly confusing, because obviously she's becoming a fae and she's learning all this new stuff about her, but I'm just not as interested. I think it's because I don't know the characters from her chapters that well, whereas Chaol's and Dorian's, they're at the kingdom, like I know the people and I know what they're trying to do. And the witch, I hadn't met her, but she's like talking about characters I had, and like they have Wyvern and like stuff like that, so I'm like getting interested in them. But yeah, I'm just finding it difficult to read Selena's chapters because I feel like they're more confusing, more complex. That's probably what my issue is. And because I'm not really reading that much of it during the day, I read it mainly in the morning and night time, which is probably when I'm most tired, so that's probably not a good idea. But I am enjoying it. I'm 270 pages into a 560-ish page book, so yeah. Look, at this rate, it's probably my least favourite out of the 3 I've read. I read Throne of Glass, Assassin's Blade and Crown of Midnight. It's definitely my least favourite. I think I rated all those a 5-star. And I definitely know this is going to get way better as the book goes on. I can just feel it. But at the moment, I'm just a bit stuck. So I'm going to get into these ones and see how I go with them, and I'll give you a bit of an update. thought I'd come in here with a little bit of a book update. Now, I'll give you my book update, but I thought I'd add this in because it's obviously book related, isn't it? But today I actually got two new books. I went to Big W looking for the last two books in the Natural series, which I found. So I got All In and Bad Blood, which are the final two in the series, which I'm very excited about because I haven't been able to find it like anywhere for so long, and I really just want to get into it and finish the series. So I got them, and I also went in looking for Spark of the Everflame because my Kmart doesn't have it. Neither does Big W, which have a bone to pick because they have Glow of the Everflame and Heat of the Everflame, which are the second and third book. Where's the first? Why don't you have the first? Anyway, we also went looking for Sunrise on the Reaping, I believe it's called, which is the newest Hunger Games book, which is about Haymitch, and Brody got that, and I almost got it, but I really want to read it actually, but I haven't read the other ones, and I said to Brody, how about you get it, you tell me, because he's read the other ones, except for the Songbirds of Ballads and Snakes, or whatever it's called. He hasn't read that one, but he's read the other ones. So I said, you read this Haymitch one, you tell me if I need to read the other ones, and if I don't, then I'll buy it. Because I have the other three. I don't have the fourth one, but I have the other three, and I just haven't read them. But I really want to read that. But moving on. As you would have seen, I ended up starting You Like It Dark by Stephen King yesterday afternoon. Yep. And I read 2 of the short stories. Now, going into this, I thought that all of them were horror stories for some reason, but reading the blurb and looking it up, it says each of these stories holds its own thrills, joys, and mysteries. Each feels iconic, so they're not all scary. I don't think they're all gruesome either. But the first one was like about aliens or something, I don't even know. I didn't really enjoy the first short story, and it was like 59 pages, not too bad, whatever, but I didn't really enjoy it. And then I read, what's it called? The Fifth Step, which, long story short, this guy just ends up confessing such like terrible things to this random guy on the street as his like 5th step in his AA meetings, and it ends tragically. That's all I'm gonna say. So I read that. So I'm now up to Willie the Weirdo. So I read 60-ish pages of this, which not too bad. Still really unsure about this book, and it just intimidates me because of the size. Did I read any more of this yesterday? I don't think I read any more of Air of Fire, but I did start The Final Gambit yesterday, and I'm going to continue reading it now. I read it a bit earlier, but not too much. So I read about 20 pages of this yesterday, which honestly I usually would have finished like this by now, but I've had a busier 2 days in the night time when I generally would read a lot more. So I've been a bit busier those times of the day. So I haven't really read much, but what I've read so far, I didn't really read a Hawthorne Legacy that long ago, but for some reason I was just getting confused with certain, like how certain people are interconnected and like related and stuff. But I feel like that's just like gonna happen. I'll just get used to it eventually. But I'm up to page 50 now. I don't know, it's currently 11:45. I would like to get to page 100. It's 50 more pages. I don't think it's gonna happen, but a girl can dream, can't she? So today I read like nothing, but I'm gonna read now. So at the moment I've only read, I want to say, from page 28 to 50. That's all I've read today. But I want to say I'm going to read at least 70 pages by the end of today, which, not the worst, not the best, but yesterday I read about 100-ish. a jumbled week. Monday night, but I didn't give you an update on yesterday's reading. So yesterday was the end of my week of reading, I guess. I didn't get to Stephen King, You Like It Darker, but I did read Heir of Fire and The Final Gambit. Now, I did say I'd probably finish this in 1 or 2 days. That's not happened. I'm in a slight reading slump where I'm craving reading so bad, and I always want to be reading, but when I'm reading, I'm just so tired and I'm fatigued, and I just don't want to, get not as invested, if you understand. But, nothing's really happened yet in this, to be completely honest, so nothing really to report on that, but I read about 50 pages yesterday of this, and then last night I picked up Heir of Fire, and this is what I'm talking about, okay? I was struggling with this book because in the last 3 books I read, I was immediately entranced and I was immediately hooked. I wanted to read it all the time, whereas with this one, like I said, there's 3 different POVs, different places people are. I was getting a bit lost, not as invested in certain chapters as others, but now that I've read a bit more, I'm so hooked and I want to keep reading this so badly. Selena is so much more interesting. We're learning more about Rowan. Dorian's forming a connection with this healer, and what's his name, Kale and Aiden or whatever. I like learning about the Fae and trying to help Selena and all this stuff. Anyway, I haven't really read, there hasn't been really many witch chapters, but they've also been interesting because it's got Wyvern. It's been good to have them in it again. But no, I'm very invested to see where this goes, and I can feel certain kind of love interest peaking, and I'm just interested. I don't know if they become a love interest, but I'm loving learning about all these new dynamics and seeing where all these characters are ending up, and I'm very much enjoying this. I think I read about 20 pages of this last night, so that was a good little way to end off. But no, so that's what I realistically read this week / my mood reading. Obviously week to week it's different. Some weeks I probably wouldn't even finish 1 book, other weeks I could finish 3 or 4, some weeks 1, every week's very different. It really just, it depends on the length of the book, the genre of the book, how hooked I am on the characters, the storyline, the plot, everything. So I think I had a pretty good week. Well, I finished Locked Door, started 2 new books. I feel this month especially, I've been trying to focus on actually enjoying the book. So certain books I probably wouldn't have read this solely, Heir of Fire, for example, and The Final Gambit. I'm reading them a lot slower, and it's becoming more enjoyable, especially for Heir of Fire, because I'm learning, I actually do really enjoy it. I just didn't give it the time of day, really. And The Final Gambit, I usually would finish in 1 or 2 days, and maybe that's why I rate them so highly. So I'll probably finish these 3 books this week. But yes, that's come to the end of my video, and I hope you enjoyed. I'd love to do another one of these. I would really want to do a 24-hour readathon, but I think I'd have to pick the precise moment to do that. I really want to do it, because obviously you can still nap and stuff, you just have to read for 24 hours. maybe there'll be a video coming soon, who knows. But I hope you enjoy my video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!